Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Dr. Bisaye Otakiti, and today I will be revealing some of my course structure for this semester. Many students have also private chatted me that they need the course structure or the course outline. What are they going to be doing for this semester? So, from one of the courses I'm taking this semester, I'm going to be revealing what the course structure, or some other cases call it outline, looks like. And the title of this course is called Statistics for Managers. And what do I mean by statistics for managers? It just means statistics generally, and most importantly, 100 level student offers this course. We have statistics for manager 1, we also have statistics for manager 2. Some years back, statistics used to be offered at the 100 level and at the 200 level, but due to so that would meet up with the NUC standard, we had to reduce statistics to just 2 times, that is 100 level first semester and 100 level second semester. So for the first semester we have statistics for manager 1, and for the second semester we have statistics for manager 2. Depending on the university or where you're looking at this video from, your course code will be different. For somewhere in my own university, sometimes we call it SMS, sometimes they call it as the name of the department, maybe BUS, maybe ACC, maybe SFIN, maybe ENT, maybe LMS, maybe mechanical. What do we call mechanical engineer? I'm trying to see the code of mechanical. Maybe CHM. There are different codes depending on the department and how many students offer statistics. But for to managers, that is the management part of the university system, this is what we do. Statistics for managers, or some other institutions say statistics for management sciences, or statistics for the faculty of whichever. The first one, statistics for managers, is taken in the first semester, and usually first semester is called a maternity semester. It is compulsory for all students. Once you are in that department or whichever department, you can be an elective for other students in other department, but I've not seen anywhere where statistics is an elective course. It's a compulsory course. It means you must offer it. Then it's either a 2 unit or a 3 unit course, but for the purpose of my own institution, it is a 3 unit course, and it is also a course you must pass. I don't think we emphasize prerequisite in this part of Nigeria, but it's a course, is compulsory, and you must pass it. This course can also be relevant to students in biz admin. It can be relevant to students in entrepreneurship. It can be relevant to students in accounting. It can be relevant to students in economics. It can be relevant to students in finance. It can be relevant to students from, I think, tourism too does statistics, education, post science. As many students that are in the management aspect of a university, faculty of management, faculty of business administration, faculty of humanity management and social sciences, depending on what your faculty. If you are in the management part of any educational institution, this course is compulsory and something you enjoy. And just a minute while I share my course structure with you. One, what is the objective of this course? Basically, the objective of this course is to help students to understand the basic concepts of statistics, and as to also show students how relevant some of the statistical tools are for the student. Then it also aims at empowering students with the required analytical skills for making right decisions, for making prompt decisions, for making inquiry into management sciences. Management sciences comes in different dimensions, and these are the schedule we'll be looking at for the next 10 to 15 weeks, depending on when you are resuming and what your course syllabus says. The first one we'll look at in week 1 is basically we go to class, introduce the course to the students. We talk about last semester, if there was any. If, for example, there are new students, I try to familiarize myself with the new students. Tell me what their names. I ask them their names. I tell them my name. I tell them what the structure of the university is. I tell them every grade point for you to meet a point, how do you achieve it, and what the CA continuous assessment is, and what the exam scores would also be. I also try to advise and also teach how to calculate GP, or cumulative GP, grade points, cumulative grade points. So in the first week, like I said, it's just basically introduction and familiarizing ourselves with one another. In the last class I went, I know I have Temitokwe, I have Bolaji, I have I can't remember all their names, but I told them my names, but I'm also very sure that they remember mine because I was person standing in front of them, and I'm their teacher, so I can't remember all the names of them, but I'm sure by the time I put faces to all those names, it will start coming back fresh, as if I just did that introductory class. So what are the topics we'll be looking at for the next 10 to 15 weeks? The first one, in the first week, we'll be looking at introduction to statistics. And what does introduction to statistics entails? We'll look at the definition of statistics. We'll look at if you have types of statistics. We'll look at the origin of statistics. We'll look at, is there any difference between statistics and statistical method. We'll also look at functions of statistics. We look at limitations of statistics. We'll also look at if statistics is a science or an art. Then we also look at different definitions from different authors. What statistics means. Some people will say statistics is synonymous with figure. Statistics is a subject. Statistics is quantitatively defined depending on your own perspective. So there are lots of topics and there are a lot of titles and subtitles we'll be looking at in the first week of our class, which is introduction to statistics. Then the second week would also be looking at statistical inquiry. How do we start an investigation, or how do we start statistical investigation? Like I said, investigation. You can also say inquiry. You can also say you are trying to find out. You can also say statistical survey. There are other names you can call it. So we'll be looking at how to start or to do a statistical inquiry. Basically, there are two methods. The first one is planning, and the second one is executing the inquiry. Then the third week, we look at sources of data collection. How do we get data? There are two main sources of data collection. We have the primary source of data collection, and we have the secondary source of data collection. In that third week, we'll be breaking down the types of primary data we have. We'll be breaking down the types of secondary data we have. We'll be looking at the advantages and disadvantages, how this topic is relevant to your course of study, how you can actually maximize the knowledge gotten from statistics and apply it to every other part of your course of study or your stay in the university. Then in the fourth week, we'll also be looking at sampling method. There is no way we'll look at sampling method without knowing the meaning of sample, population, sensor, and sampling. Like we know, population is the total number of people staying in a particular place within a specific period of time. Then census is a bit different from population. Census is the head count. It has the person has to be physically available. If you ask me now how many people are in my house, I can tell you 20. Our population is 20. I have siblings, and my siblings has children, husband, wife. Counting all of them, I can say the population is 20. But my census now at the moment, the censor of this house is myself, the person in front of me, the next person. That's the censor of this house right now. That means we have 3. Censor is 3, population is 20. Then we also look at sample, and we look at the method of getting a sample from a population and sampling methods in general. Then in the 5th week, we look at data classification. Like we said, statistics, it all involves data classification, presentation, analysis, inquiry. It all centers around data. So we'll be looking at data classification in the 5th week. How do we classify data, and what is the justification for classifying data? Like we said, classification itself is sorting or arranging data into different classes. the courses 100 level students offers is not the same courses the 200 level offers. They are in different class. So the 100 level are in 100 level, the 200 level are in 200 level. The courses 200 level offers is not the same course the 300 level and the 400 level or the 500 level students will offer. They are in different classes. They have come in different section, different years. So there is a structure for each year that you graduate to or you move into. So we want to see what data classification is. Then after data classification, the next week, that is the 6th week, we also look at data tabulation. All these data that we have classified, how do we tabulate them? Because you cannot talk about statistics without rows and columns. We want to see which one are the rows, which one are the column. How do we tabulate all this data that we have classified and we have collected? Then in the 7th week, we also look at presentation of statistical data or data presentation. It could be either of the way, presentation of statistical data or data presentation. And presentation is in two forms. The first one we'll be looking at is the diagrammatic aspect of statistical presentation of statistical data, and where we'll be looking at pie charts, we'll be looking at bar charts, we'll be looking at pie charts, we'll be looking at histogram, we'll look at pictogram, we'll look at cartogram, we'll look at different dimensions of drawing diagram. Like we said, diagrammatic, we have 1 dimension, we have 2 dimension, we have 3 dimension diagrams, and like that. And in the course of the semester, we'll be explaining in depth of what a 1-dimensional diagram represents, what 2 represents, and what 3-dimensional diagram represents. Then in the 8th week, we'll be looking at presentation of statistical data graphically. We have talked about diagrams. Now graphical, how do you draw a graph? How do you know this is the line chart, or this is what's this other logarithm chart? There are other true charts, false charts, and many other charts like that. So we'll be looking at presentation of statistical data in the graphical sense, in putting them into graphics. Then in the 9th week, we'll look at measures of central tendency, because measures of central tendency is a very voluminous topic. We'll be dividing it into the 9th week and the 10th week. And in the 9th week, we would break down what measures of central tendency is, what are the prerequisites, what are the advantages, disadvantages. Then we would also look at what are the methods of measuring central tendency. We have the mean, we have the mode, we have the median, then we have the harmonic mean, we have the geometric mean. We'll be looking at these two, so breaking down these measures of central tendency in the 9th and in the 10th week. Then in the 11th week, we also look at measures of dispersion. What do we mean by measures of dispersion? Because of some of the limitations that came with measures of central tendency, the measures of dispersion was also invented. I think that's the right word to use, was also invented, and it has some advantages over measures of central tendency. And under measures of dispersion, we can also do it in 1 week, looking at the number of students that we have and the way they assimilate. Different students assimilate differently, so we can't rush all the topic in just a week. So we take it slow and steady, so that every individual in this class can actually understand what I'm talking about. Then what are these methods? We have mean deviation, standard deviation, we have variance, we have range, we have interquartile range, then quarter deviation, and many like that. Then in the 13th week, if our time permits and students are catching up or coming along very fast, then we move to another topic in the 13th week, which is time series analysis, measuring events over a period of time. Then in the last week, which is week 14, we look at index numbers, specialized averages that helps in statistical data too. And in the 5th week, you can remember that I've not mentioned period for tests, mid-semester exam, because CA means continuous assessment. It means tests can come up as much time as possible, as so far the lecturer can record, mark, return the scripts, and do proper documentation. It is continuous assessment. It means it is not compulsory, it comes only one. it comes only once. Rather, it can be one, it could be two, it could be three, it could be four. There will be assignments, there will be group discussion, so that the student can also comprehend all these things and relate well, because they are new students. So if we don't put it to them at this early stage, then when do we do that? Then in the last week, which is the 15th week, we do revision. If our time permits, we come back to class, we do revision. Don't forget there will be tests in between, so we have already exceeded 15 weeks. So we can drop some of the topics if we cannot cover them, so that we have time for tests to see how the students are, if they actually understand what we are talking about. Test is a form of method to test their knowledge, to see if I come to class very early, I teach, do students really understand? Are they really assimilating what I am teaching? Then what are you expected to do as a student? One, there are resources or reading lists that you can find. I strongly recommend Professor Sunday Oyewole Otokiti's book. It's called Contemporary Statistical Method. I'll put the link down below. Now you can get it online, you can get it on Amazon, you can get it on Seller. Seller is SELAR. I'm still trying to make the negotiation okay, so that it can be at a reduced price, so that people can get access to materials and other books. Then there's also another book that is not only Professor Otokiti's textbook alone. That Professor Otokiti textbook was newly reviewed, and in conjunction with Bisayo Otokiti, Sunday Oyewole Otokiti and Bisayo Otokiti. Please, I strongly recommend that you get that book. Check online and see how you can get it. Then there's another Gupta C book that is an introduction to statistical method. It is published by the New Age publisher. Professor Otokiti's textbook was formerly by Pumac. I can't remember the new name of the new publisher. Then student also, the textbook will help you to have an in-depth knowledge of what we are taught in class. 2 hours can never be enough for us to use in class, and that is why we are recommending reading lists. There are many other textbooks you can get online, and that would be useful for your course in the course of this semester. Then private reading, students are admonished to at least read between 48 to 50 hours private study per week, so that you don't forget that this is not the only course you are doing. There are many other courses that you do, so find time to read. Don't get idle. Don't do things that will not add any value to you at the moment. You are just new, and I can tell you the truth, your parents have gone through thick and thin to get you into this university, maybe by payment of school fees, hostel, or maintenance. So I'm begging you, please, you have to create time to read statistics and every other courses that you are doing. You do business, you do management, there are many, you do mathematics, so there are many other courses. You have to create time to go to classes, read, understand, and read. Then attendance monitoring for my institution and my college. I think 70% attendance is the minimum. You must meet up with 75 or 70% attendance, so you don't have any excuse. They paid the school fee so that you be in school. You can't say classes are going on and you are in your hostel, or you are in another class, or you are following your friend to another department or another college. You don't have that excuse. 75% attendance is compulsory at this stage for you to be able to write exam. Then what is the assessment method? Like I said, it is continuous assessment, and students will be given assignments maybe on a weekly basis, depending on how the spirit leads. It could be on a weekly basis. Then we would also have like 2 or 3 tests: the impromptu test, the mid-semester test, then maybe after the mid-semester, depending on our time schedule and how everything unfolds. Then don't also forget, the continuous assessment is 40%, and it lies with you. It lies with you. There are courses you can get 40 once you do everything that is required. Then final exam constitutes 60%, 40 plus 60 making 100. Then what is the approved grading system? For you to have A, it means it is, for some other universities, it could be 5, it could be 6, it could be 7, depending on the university you are. For some other, it could be 4 points, it could be 5 points, it could be 6 points, it could be 7 points. But for this particular course I'm doing, to get A is 4 points, and you have to have 70 points and above. That means 70% over 100 before you can have A. For you to have B, that is 3.0. To have A is 4.0. To have B is 3.0. And how do you get B? It ranges between 60 and 69%. If you have 69, it's B. Don't say the lecturer cannot add A for me. What was he looking at and gave me 69 and left it like that? That was what you got. If you have worked hard, that maybe that one you'll have gotten it. But if you don't get it, you don't get it. You know, there's nothing anybody can do about it. It's now you got, and that is why it is in the plan. If they don't want it to be in the plan, they will not have put 69. They will have said 69 above is A or 4.0. But they have structured it out and stated it out that to have A, you need 70% above. That's 4.0. To have B, you need between 60 and 69. That's 3.0. To have C, you need to have C. My battery is running low, but I'll be fast so that it doesn't go off. To have C, you need between 50 and 59. That's C. That's 2.0. To have D, you need between 45 and 49. That's 1.0. In this particular university, we don't have E. The last one below 44. 44 below is F, and that's 0. So if you like get 44 or 42 or 40 or 43, it means F. For my own details, I just want to add a simple details. Everybody knows my lecture period, but my contact hour is between 12 noon and 2 p.m. You also know my office, you know my phone number, you have my official mail in case you need to discuss anything with me. You can send me a chat, you can send me a text message, you can also send me a mail through the email addresses, phone number, and the office contact that I've given you last week. I hope everybody enjoyed this video. I wish you a prosperous semester and God bless everyone. Don't also forget to watch this video, subscribe, share with friends and loved one. Also turn on your notification button so that you know when I upload a new video, because as time goes on in this semester, I will be bringing up new material so that the class does not lack. I will not be able to give out physical materials, but I will update at every point in time so that you'll be able to understand. Thank you and God bless you all. Bye.